If you could delete one painful memory forever, would you do it? That was the question that changed everything. One morning, without warning, a smooth white machine appeared in the center of a quiet town. No wires, no guards, just a single glowing button and a simple promise. Erase one memory. Keep the rest of your life. People gathered, laughed, whispered, filmed it on their phones. An announcement followed: no cost, no side effects, no limits except one press per person. At first, it sounded like mercy, a gift, something humanity had always prayed for but never touched. The sign beside it read, "Erase pain, keep peace," and the town believed it. Lines formed quickly. A woman who had lost her husband stepped forward with shaking hands. A man haunted by failure stood behind her. A teenager wiping tears from her eyes waited quietly. When the first button was pressed, nothing exploded. No alarms. Just relief. The woman smiled for the first time in years. The crowd clapped. And in that moment, the town decided pain was optional, and that decision felt like progress. In the days that followed, the town felt lighter. People slept better. Laughter returned to streets that had grown quiet. Grief disappeared from faces like fog burning off in the morning sun. A man who had lived with shame suddenly walked taller. A student who feared rejection spoke freely again. It felt like healing, fast, clean, effortless. People said the machine was a miracle. But something subtle began to change. Conversations grew shorter. Apologies felt unnecessary. Forgiveness seemed automatic but shallow. A husband forgot why he had once begged for forgiveness and grew careless again. A mother erased the fear that once taught her caution and stopped paying attention. A best friend forgot the promise that had once saved a relationship. No one noticed at first, because there was no pain to warn them. The memories were gone, but so were the lessons attached to them. People weren't becoming better. They were becoming lighter, emptier, and when mistakes returned, no one understood why they kept repeating them. The machine still glowed quietly in the square, patient, inviting, as if it knew the town would come back for more. Soon, people began erasing deeper things. Not just grief or heartbreak, but guilt, regret, responsibility. A teacher erased a youthful mistake, only to repeat the same behavior weeks later, confused by the outcome. A businessman erased the memory of betrayal and betrayed again, feeling nothing. Without pain, accountability faded. Without memory, growth stalled. Arguments grew louder because no one remembered how they had once been resolved. Trust collapsed because no one remembered why it mattered. Crime rose, not out of cruelty, but emptiness. People felt free, but directionless. The town didn't fall apart loudly, it unraveled quietly. Then one afternoon, a child stood before the button. She had lost her father, and everyone expected her to press it. But she didn't. She said if she erased the pain, she would also erase the reason she tried so hard, loved so deeply, and chose kindness. The crowd fell silent. For the first time, someone refused relief. That moment changed the town. Arguments broke out. Some shouted that pain was cruelty and should be erased forever. Others began to wonder what they had lost. People realized something terrifying. They had removed the very thing that shaped them. Pain had been the teacher. Memory had been the guide. Without them, life felt easier, but meaningless. When the power finally shut down, the button went dark. No explosion, no warning, just silence. Memories stopped disappearing. Pain returned slowly, unevenly, like feeling waking up in a numb limb. The machine was removed quietly that night, leaving an empty space in the square where people now stood and thought instead of lining up. Life didn't become easier after that. Grief returned. Regret lingered. Responsibility felt heavy again. But something else returned to depth. People began remembering why they forgave, why they changed, why they loved. Healing took longer, but it lasted. Pain no longer felt like the enemy. It felt like proof of growth. The child visited the empty square often, not because she was brave, but because she understood something the town had forgotten. Erasing pain doesn't erase the past, it erases meaning, and meaning is what turns survival into wisdom. The town never rebuilt the machine. Instead, they built something quieter. Conversations, patience, memory. And the question still lingers for anyone who hears this story. If you could erase your worst memory forever, would you press the button or would you keep it? Comment below and subscribe for stories that challenge